This is Mark suffering in for Des for the Broad Market Review for April 4th, 2014, and the Weekend Review. Well, it was a bearish day on Wall Street today. Let's take a look at the numbers. Look at that. The Dow was down 1%. The Nasdaq was down 2.6%. Small cap Russells were down 2.35%. Oh, this got moved on me there. And the S&P down 1.25%. Definitely a pullback here. Bank was down also 2%, confirming the move down. Look at that. VIX up 4.4%. Sounds like a lot, but actually it should be higher to confirm the move down. So the fear indicator was up, but not as much as it could have been. Then we did have gold up over 1%, silver up 0.5%, and even oil ticked up again, 0.8%. And that those grads out there, 1.3 on the trend trade. Well, let's take a look here at the charts. And we've got the S&P 500 weekly. It ran up and then pulled all the way back today, and guess what it did? It was still positive for the week, but just barely. Taking a look at the daily chart, you can see what happened was we were to rise here, and then bam, pulled it all back. Now, if we take a look here, we did have a hint of that might have happening here with the volume. We went to the SPY here so we can see volume. And as I said, on this run up this week, we said it's kind of hollow. We have the volume running down. This is bearish, or it's exactly the opposite of what we want on a run to new highs. And then look at today, bam, and look at that. Boom, there went the spike in volume. So that is actually bearish patterns in the volume, and that what we want to see is increasing volume on the way up, and on the pullback we want to see lower volume. So this is bearish. All right, let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrials, and look at that. And as with the S&P, we went to new all-time highs in the intraday, and then it pulled back the rest of the day. Volume was up just slightly from the last couple of days. And then we have the Nasdaq. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq. Oh my goodness. It boom, 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 and then pull back, kabam, giving away everything for the week. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. You'll see what I mean. Candle was up, 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 and then bam, and now we end up with a red candle for the week and closed lower than last week. Then we have the small cap Russell. Let's take a look here first at the weekly chart. And it too pulled all the way back, and it lost some as well. So we had the S&P and the Dow were up slightly for the week, but after being up big this week, and the Nasdaq and the small caps both down for the week. Let's take a look at a couple of stocks here. If we look at Apple here, it is still in this tight pattern. This is on the weekly chart. However, on the daily chart, we were in this symmetrical triangle, which we talked about earlier this week, and bam, it came down. And how about volume? Yep, on increasing volume, it broke to the downside. That's a little bit bearish. Now let's take a look at, some of you this week have probably been looking at Google, G-O-O-G, and you see this weird chart. Reason is Google changed its symbol for its Class A stocks today, which are the ones we normally trade. It used to be represented by G-O-O-G. Now it's represented by G-O-O-G-L. So if you want to find that data, you have to add the L now. G-O-O-G-L for Google Class A stocks. And it was running up just like with the rest of the market, and then kabam, it fell down below that 550 support line. That's kind of bearish. And then Facebook, we said looked a little bearish yesterday when we looked at it, and look at that, kabam, it closed below the 60, and now it dropped another 4.6% today. Yeah, it's on the bearish side right now. And look at the increase in volume. These two red candles and increasing volume, that is bearish. Well, let's take a look at sector rotation, and take a look here for just for today alone. Yeah, technology stocks. It was the worst day on technology stocks since February the 2nd, and both in the S&P tech sector as well as the Nasdaq itself. And by the way, the Nasdaq is now negative on the year again. We take a look at the 1 week performance, and technology again took the biggest hit. but the industrial goods were still up 1.5 and basic materials up 1.4. So that's where we're at on sector rotation. I know I mentioned this a little bit earlier in the week, but if you'd like to see what kind of trading that I do, you can always go to the trading videos, and in the trading videos you can watching the broad market right now. But if you go to stocks, I do the Rockstar Trading Chat Room, which is a day trading chat room, and I do a video 3-4 times a week regarding the trade that I have that particular day. Today's video happens to be posted. It's on descending triangle here, and so you can see how we actually traded a descending triangle. I use a 1-minute chart, but this applies to swing trading, position trading, as well as day trading, no matter what time frame that you do. This is Mark the Meerkat suffering. And just remember what Warren Buffett said: we don't have to be smarter than the rest. We have to be more disciplined than the rest. Trade well.